All right, Shalom. It's your brother Kushab coming back at you another lesson. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechak Wadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me the truth and rule well. And peace, blessings, salutations be to the hopefully elect. All right, the Labakarium, the Labakarium, all right, which is, the Hebrew hopefully elect, man. All right. And may you endure to the end, Lord willing. All right, and I'm just getting into a quick lesson on a particular title, which I wrote down, which is self-inflicted wounds, man. All right, in which America, just a couple key points, I kind of wrote down earlier, in which we can see the way that things are going, because people are lashing out, crying out, all right, in which I had this video queued up, and she gonna break down some things, that you should know, all right, and what's going on, right, with this whole shutdown thing, right. Now you have another week or so, right, a little bit over a week, until we come into November, all right, in which they're saying the funding and everything is running out for these, these SNAP benefits and, the WIC, all right, all these different governmental programs, all right, that our people use in order to, get food, buy food from the stores, things that they can't afford, right? And I was listening to, when I got my work truck, I was listening to the Breakfast Club, people calling in, and this one lady in particular was on there speaking about how she actually sees the people, who she sees their paychecks basically, all right, and the only thing that they can't afford, all right, is to have some type of food stamp, right, some type of government aid, to where they can go and buy groceries and eat, because all of the actual the money that they make from their jobs, it just goes straight to bills, man. And things are getting tight, all right. This guy Trump comes in, week in, week out with these reports on how the stock market is doing great, the economy, the inflation is down, all right, but nobody's agreeing with him, you see. But let me get a real quick precept, all right, because this falls under the curses, that the Lord said would happen, all right, that we would have to go unto our enemy for the want of all things, all right. So what happens to us when the enemy can't fulfill the things that we need and want? Nothing left but destruction and desolation, man. Let me see, it's Deuteronomy 28, I think it's 46, I believe. Yep, 48. It says Deuteronomy 28 and 48. It says, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee. All right, and he sent these, Edomites, all right, chiefly starting with them, against us. And what they have conquered us, man. Those that are in rule now, all right, the so-called white man. It says, which the Lord Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. You see? And when you read in the NLT, right, it says, you will serve your enemies whom the Lord will send against you. You will be left hungry, thirsty, naked, and lacking in everything. The Lord will put an iron yoke on your neck, oppressing you harshly. The hell is that? And Jake always on the corner preaching with a megaphone, man. But that's neither here nor there. But it says the Lord put an iron yoke on your neck, oppressing you harshly until he has destroyed you. You see? But when you read it in the KJV, it said, that we are going to serve our enemies for the want of all things, all right, in which our people have become comfortable, all right, with going to Esau for help, Section 8, You see, all of these different tactics. I believe it speak about that in Revelation, what is that, 14? You know, let me go and check it out real quick. I had one more before I let this video play. All right, I'm gonna get this little definition. All right, so I'm gonna go to Isaiah, the 30th chapter. All right, because as it says in first, man, my mind is totally not on point. But as it says in Timothy, they that the fashion of this world passeth away. Real quick, let me find it. Completely draw a blank on that. Fashion of this world. 1 Corinthians 7:31, it says, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. Right? We use the world, we use the things, brothers, you got to use some righteous guile, right? If you got a chance to get some food stamps, all right, deflate some numbers, here and there, you can finesse it without any penalty being brought upon you, shoot for it, man, but we don't trust in that, right? We trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, all right? It's Isaiah 31:1. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. You see? That's where the issue comes at. When you put all of your trust in the Esau Edom, all right, in which the modern day Egypt is here in America, man. All right? You see all of the strength, all right, the power that this devil has, all right? And that's all you do is, I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to look to seek and trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, all right? Jake ain't even fucking calling on Jesus no more, man. All right, which he ain't never done nothing for, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans anyway, but that just shows you how far gone our people is, man. All right, and all they're doing is lashing out because everybody about to lose their food stamps, all right? And I just seen a post before I started this lesson saying that how, it ain't no food stamps, ain't gonna be no Thanksgiving. Hey man, we'll call Allah like Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Kakodash. All right, for that, man. Tired of you niggas going and cook pork and shrimp. All right, all these abominations and celebrating the slaughtering of our brothers, man. All right, which were the Gadites. All right, the tribe of Gad and tribe of Reuben, man. But so I'm gonna get into a little bit of this video, all right, and whatever precepts come to mind, all right.
The longer this government shutdown lasts, the worse it's going to get. Well, we are now 20 days into it, and worse is almost here for more than 40 million men, women, and kids who get food assistance from the U.S. government's SNAP program.
And an important role of the government is to provide that safety nest for those with the least among us. Today, I think New York announced that they can't continue taking new enrollees because of the government shutdown in SNAP, in our food stamp program. We're going to run out of money in 2 weeks. So you're talking about millions and millions of vulnerable families, of hungry families that are not going to have access to these programs because of this shutdown.
That was the Secretary of Agriculture who said last week that by November 1st, an estimated 42 million Americans could be shut out of the SNAP program. Recipients just...
Yeah, so when you have, and that's mostly Jakes, right? A lot of Edomites in there too, because there's a lot of Edomite women that's on these programs, man. Then they get credit for, but you have 42 million people abruptly, and they probably lying on that, like the brother always say, Esau play games with the numbers, man. All right, it's probably more than that, man. That's gonna go hungry, right? When that first come, people go to the store and they spend $300-400 on groceries, man. Whatever the things that they need, and they try to make it last right till the next month. So you look at it at this point, majority of the people done already used up all of the SNAP, all right, food stamp benefits, and they don't already have nothing on there. So a lot of people are looking forward to this next week and a half so they can get their get their renewal, man. All right. And, like I got this definition queued up: controlled demolition, all right, orchestrated famine, all right. All of these things are strategized and perfectly planned by the elites, man, all right. Here it is. You have the people who actually are responsible for having this government, quote unquote, shut down, all right. But they're going home and they still collecting paychecks, man. You see? But here it is. You have people affected that are mandated to work and not collecting a paycheck. Where they do that at? In the U.S. of A., man. All right.
Wouldn't get their benefits. Just to be clear, SNAP is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It used to be called food stamps, and it is the government program that provides food benefits to low-income families in order to supplement their grocery budgets. Now, according to the Agriculture Department, about 12% of U.S. residents receive SNAP benefits, and as of 2024, that SNAP benefit averaged about $190 a month. According to this letter, though, sent to all SNAP administrators in all states nationwide 10 days ago, if the government does not reopen, there will be insufficient funds to pay full November SNAP benefits.
All right, so it says, as stated in our lapse of appropriation correspondence dated October 1st, 2025, SNAP has funding available for benefits and operations through the month of October. However, if the current lapse in appropriations continue, there will be insufficient funds to pay full November SNAP benefits for approximately 42 million individuals across the nation. All right, and that's where we at with it, right? As of today.
The acting administrator of SNAP went on to say in the letter, in the interest of preserving maximum flexibility, state SNAP offices should not be sending out monthly issuance files to vendors. And without those issuance files, vendors cannot load SNAP benefits onto those EBT cards. And if the benefits aren't loaded onto the EBT cards, then SNAP beneficiaries don't have the money to buy the groceries they need. It's a ripple effect. So if you do receive SNAP benefits, what is this going to mean for you? Well, the fact is the government is shut down because, as I've been reporting, Congress cannot agree on how to allocate money to each government department. The Department of Agriculture is one of those government departments, and it oversees SNAP benefits. So until the shutdown is ended, legally, they can't spend any money, including on your SNAP benefits. Each state, though, is handling this differently. Some are doing exactly what this letter says and cutting off all November SNAP payments. Some are reportedly considering sending out partial payments in November, and it's also possible that your state may pay for the benefits up front themselves and then try and get some kind of reimbursement from the federal government. But that is all in limbo right now. So if you are in this program and you are concerned about your November benefits, I highly suggest that you check your state's SNAP program website.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, for that. So I'm gonna go to this definition. All right, it says controlled demolition is the process of strategically dismantling a structure, most commonly a building, using a planned and calculated method to ensure it collapses in a specific safe direction. You see, it often involves the use of explosives to create an implosion, or it can use other precise techniques like robotic demolition, diamond cutting, or hydraulic bursting. This method is vital for tall buildings and structures in close proximity to other properties because it minimizes risk, noise, dust, and collateral damage compared to traditional methods. All right, in which, I brought out this definition because I'm looking at it with a spiritual aspect. All right, not literal, but spiritual. All right, so they are strategically dismantling the structure of America. All right. With all of these things, all right, the pen working for DJ Trump, all right, with the whole government shut down, all right, these things are done on purpose, man, all right, so they can furthermore move on with that NWO, you see, all right, that's a precept I wanted to grab, because we can see at times of, terrible famine, escalating from here, right? And then you're actually going to have to a point to where, you know, it ain't gonna be just, you know, a civil war. It's gonna be class wars, man. All right, you're gonna have the poor going up into those neighborhoods of the rich, man. You see, everything can spiral out of control within a matter of a few days, man. You know, let those SNAP benefits not hit. You already got Keisha talking about nobody better not stop me because I'm going in the store and I'm going to spend my regular amount. I'm going to get my regular groceries and I'm walking out the store. You see? And what if, you know, that's a more than just one person's mindset, right? I tell you, man, perilous times, man. All right. 2nd Esdras chapter 15, you know, I'm going to just jump to 19, all right? It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. You see, so this is biblical prophecy that these things will happen, all right? Now, whether they come to an agreement, you know, within a week, all right, and they restore this federal, you know, shit, whatever, but, you know, I just don't see it happening, all right, Lord willing, you know, because when you go get the inside scoop, it's like, oh, we still deadlocked. We just don't see, you know, coming out of this by the end of this year, man. All right. So we're definitely getting ready to see 2nd Esdras 15 and 19 play out, man. All right. Which that's going to cause, you know, he already sending out the troops. You see how prophecy is lining up? You see? He's already dispersed troops to different places, right? So it's going to be perfect, you know, all hell start breaking loose. All right, and they're going to be the ones bringing the order. You see? There's nothing for him to start deploying, you know, as he done went over, you know, the judicial command, right, on how things are ran or how things are done, you know. And he just said, I'm going to do it my own way, man. You see? So, you know, we can definitely see prophecy lining up. All right, you know, things are beginning to happen into where the point of the matter, man, all right, our salvation is nearer than we believe, you know. But, you know, these self-inflicted wounds is going to come back and bite America in the ass, you know, which is going to cause their people to turn on their, I'll read verse 16. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. You see? So they're going to go and blame these different senators, right? These people that's sitting in Congress, all right? You're the reason why we can't eat. You're the reason why I can't get my food stamps, you see? And they're actually going to seek the lives of these people, man. All right, and these are the things that's getting ready to happen. All right, to a place near you. Okay, it's coming to a city near you, man. You know, but I believe that's pretty much it. You know, I won't be too long, but you know, I just wanted to grab this precept. You know, because hey, man, 2nd Esdras 15 is getting ready to bust wide open, man. All right, so with that, you know, Lord willing, that's what's edifying. And I'm going to give all praises, glory, infinite honors unto Yahweh, by Shem Yahushua, by Shem Kakwadash. Double honors once again to the apostles and the others of Great Millstone. And peace, blessing, citation.